Defining film noir has been a point of contention among the film viewer and critic communities for decades. Some argue that it's a genre, some an idea, others a style. I personally see it as a genre, just as much as sports films, musicals, and westerns are allowed to wear the title. And so, for the purposes of this video essay, I will discuss film noir as though it is a genre.
Excuse me.
And so a tortuous, roundabout refugee trail sprang up.
Beginning in the early years of World War II, many Americans became disillusioned with not knowing what the future had in store for them. Hearing stories of the death and destruction taking place overseas led many creatives astray, and themes of corruption and uncertainty began emerging in their works.
It's just it, he isn't going.
What?
That's what I've been trying to tell you. The trip is off.
What happened?
Starting with authors like James M. Cain and Raymond Chandler, whose novels about the so-called hard-boiled detective characters were adapted into films like Double Indemnity
They always put what I want on the top shelf.
and The Big Sleep, many viewers started to take notice of the new dark style of film that Hollywood was producing. The French were especially surprised by the change when World War II came to an end, as an embargo that had been placed on films was lifted. After not having seen any American films for a few years, they observed a tonal shift that took a negative look at American life for the first time. These new films were violent, gritty, and enveloped in shadow, hence the term noir, translating to black in French.
Sam,
Yes, boss.
it's December 1941 in Casablanca. What time is it in New York?
What? My watch stopped.
I bet they're asleep in New York. I bet they're asleep all over America.
Noir films at the time were like a breath of fresh air for Americans as they portrayed new perspectives and ideas previously unseen in film.
The towns in all the world. She walks into mine.
Within a genre, however, like in everything, change is inevitable. There are stages that genres go through in their lifetimes. The specifics are arguable, but it all boils down mainly to three definable periods. The discovery period, in which filmmakers experiment with the boundaries of the genre and work to define it. The classics period, in which the boundaries have been set and films that exemplify the genre emerge. And the aftermath period, encompassing everything that comes after the classics.
Where is he?
What?
Where is he?
Oh,
Cairo.
what do you think you're doing, Jack? Kidding me?
I'll tell you when I am. New York, aren't you?
Shove off.
Early noir films like 1941's The Maltese Falcon
You can tell the fat man I said so.
It had to be you.
and 1942's Casablanca opened viewers' eyes to the opportunities the genre presented and popularized it, paving the way for more films like Double Indemnity,
No thanks. I'd rather stand.
The Big Sleep,
Hell, how'd you happen to pick out this place?
Maybe I wanted to hold your hand.
Oh, that can be arranged.
and Gun Crazy. Following the success of some of these films, a Looney Tunes short titled The Great Piggy Bank Robbery was released, which saw Daffy Duck impersonating the comic book detective Dick Tracy.
Scram, Sherlock. I'm working this side of the street.
Towards the end of the classic era, Orson Welles' Touch of Evil started to show hints of change.
Only one of them. The Grandies are a big family. Good night.
No purchases, Mr. Lineker?
Hey, I got
You're
this.
American citizen, miss?
No, I got this ticking noise.
Yeah, okay.
No, really, this
Good night.
ticking noise in my head. Mike, do you realize this is the very first
Beyond the late 50s, the noir's classic era came to an end, and writers and directors had to implement new elements to the genre if they wanted to keep the attention of audiences. While most films to that point focused on isolated events, often with individual perpetrators, or the duo of the femme fatale and protagonist detective character,
Give me that box.
1974's Chinatown introduced a larger conspiracy to the mix.
Accessory after the fact. I didn't extort nothing from nobody, Lou. This is Noah Cross, if you don't know. Evelyn's father, if you don't know. He's the bird you're after, Lou. I can explain everything, but just give me 5 minutes. That's all I need. He's rich. You understand? Shut up! Get away with anything!
Coupled with a fantastic script, the Jack Nicholson charm, and a climactic ending that leaves viewers destroyed, Chinatown was an incredible aftermath noir success story.
Crazy, Lou! He killed Mulray because of the water thing. I'm telling you, just listen to me for 5 minutes.
Later still, films like Blade Runner, another Looney Tunes short, Carrot Blanca,
Who's got trouble? We've got trouble. How much trouble? Too much trouble. Well, don't you frown, just knuckle down and knock on wood. Who's unhappy? We're unhappy. How unhappy? Mr. Bugs, Mr. Bugs.
What's up, Doc?
LA Confidential,
Hiya, Nick. I need a delivery. A case each of gin, rum, scotch.
That sounds like a hell of a party, Lynn. I'll be right with you.
Here we know that Christmas will be green and bright. The sun to shine by day and all the stars at night. Melikilikimaka is a wise way to say Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, officer.
That obvious, huh?
It's practically stamped on your forehead.
and more recently, Shutter Island, all continued to bring something new and interesting to the table, which made for fantastic cinematic experiences.
When did she escape? This prisoner.
I'm afraid Dr. Cawley will have to fill you in on the situation. Protocol.
Correct.
Summer, 13 years ago. You're in the fields behind your father's house. You pick up the ball.
A few very recent films, however, 2021's Reminiscence and Nightmare Alley, left a bad taste in my mouth regarding the genre. Some of the most recognizable characteristics of classic noir films are night settings and water. They give the feeling of a dark, eerie, usually urban environment. In Reminiscence, the film is set in 2050, and to get around the night setting, it's explained that because of global warming, Miami has flooded, and it is too hot to do anything during the day, so the entire city has become nocturnal. It feels forced and out of place, as there are many easy ways to set a film at night without shifting the sleeping schedule of the entire world by half a day. The film is also interspersed with Hugh Jackman's cheesy voiceover, giving lines that sound deep but have no real meaning, such as,
"The past can haunt a man. That's what they say. But the past is just a series of moments. Each one perfect. Complete. A bead on the necklace of time."
Nightmare Alley begins promisingly with an interesting circus setting, but devolves into Bradley Cooper's protagonist being greedy and doing a lot of nothing for the rest of the film. Classics like Double Indemnity, The Big Sleep, and Gun Crazy utilize the voiceover,
so he doesn't get pushed around too much. Hello, Keys.
dark, wet urban environments,
So long, pal.
and circus settings expertly as they play into the captivating storyline of the films, and they wouldn't be the same without them. These newer films, however, could exist on their own without using noir tropes to deceive audiences into thinking that they are about to see something groundbreaking that honors the great noir films of the past. The big studios can't just slap the classic Borsalino fedora on a chiseled A-list celebrity with a 5 o'clock shadow and expect to create something as original and entertaining as Humphrey Bogart, like in these scenes from The Big Sleep.
Can I be of any assistance?
Yes. Would you happen to have a Ben-Hur 1860?
A what?
I said, would you happen to have a Ben-Hur 1860?
Oh, a first edition.
No. The third. The one with the erratum on page 116.
I'm afraid not.
How about a Chevalier Audubon 1840 full set, of course?
Not at the moment.
You do sell books. Hmm?
What do those look like? Grapefruit?
Well, from here they look like books. Maybe I better see Mr. Geiger.
He's not in just now.
Well, that's a pity because
I said Mr. Geiger is not in.
I heard you. You needn't yell at me. Well, I'm already late for my lecture on Argentine ceramics, so I guess I won't wait.
The word is ceramics, and they ain't Argentine. They're Egyptian.
You did sell a book once, didn't you? Well, I guess I'll run along to the public library, or I could go to that bookstore across the street, couldn't I? Hmm?
Do so.
Thank you. Well, I'm back again. Remember me?
I'm afraid I...
Remember me now? Hmm?
Now, see here, what's the big
Take it easy,
idea?
sister. That was only a stall about those first editions.
What
I got
you...
something to sell. Something Geiger's wanted for a long time. Is Geiger in?
No, he isn't. You might come back tomorrow.
Drop the veil, sister. I'm in the business myself.
I place no blame on you, and I want you to know that.
They are beating the metaphorical horse of the formulaic film noir, even though it has been dead for years, for cash grab blockbuster movies, and these films end up feeling uninspired and passionless.
Can you hear it?
I hear it, Walter.
Elsa's lover was Walter Sylvan,
I hear it.
and they had a son.
And Walter wanted him dead. He knew he was dying. He sent Booth to tie up the loose ends with me.
This isn't to say, however, that there aren't new stories to be told that can't be visualized with a bit of the noir flair.
Is that why you're here?
Here now, here? No. I stayed hoping to speak to you a little more. Something is afoot with this whole affair. I know it. I believe you know it, too.
They just have to find something to add to revitalize that dead horse and create something beautiful.